Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for a conversation about the status of women in Georgia. This conversation is meant to raise awareness, to call attention to the many ways the policies in the state of Georgia fail women. This was an experiment to see whether there is an interest to strategize on a policy agenda that has women's rights as a focus. The answer is a resounding yes. Over 55 organizations are sponsors of this event. Policy and advocacy groups, sororities and civic organizations, academic groups, all are represented. So clearly, there is an energy across our state for women's rights and true equality. When the Georgia legislature passed HB 481 in 2019 and effectively banned abortions, we joined with many of you to fight back. We commissioned this report originally intending to show the progress Georgia's women have made following the decision in Roe v. Wade that enables us to control our own bodies and reproduction. As Deirdre and Ifani conducted the literature review, Deirdre called me to say, Georgia's women are really behind. So the report objectives changed to reflect the facts. Our goal with this report is to initiate a statewide conversation about the status of women, to assess how far we have to go now to achieve equality, and to propose strategies for achieving the goal of genuine equality for all women in Georgia. As you know, today's event was originally scheduled in March to observe Women's History Month, but had to be postponed when the COVID pandemic began. As COVID has revealed more about the shape of systemic racism, it has also hit women especially hard. Women are both exposed as frontline workers and suffering disproportionately from the economic harm of the pandemic. Even women fortunate enough to work from home often carry the burden of childcare and homeschooling. The pandemic exposed gaps in our healthcare system, inequality in our schools, the vulnerability of women to eviction, and the callousness of employers in our service industries. The response to the pandemic reinforced my belief that the abortion ban is a symptom of an even larger problem, that in our state, the needs of women are minimized, ignored, and dismissed. That can and must change. In November, women have an historic opportunity to reject some of the members of the Georgia legislature who led the passage of the abortion ban and increase the number of pro choice women in the House. In fact, we are 2 seats away from creating a pro choice firewall in the state's House of Representatives. While Georgia's current U.S. senators support the abortion ban and are complicit in the anti choice and often unqualified judges Trump and McConnell are adding to the federal bench, there are 2 pro choice men running for the U.S. Senate who would be a vote against any Supreme Court nominee who would overturn Roe v. Wade. We have a lot at stake in November. And this report reminds us just how much is at stake. And so now I'd like to introduce the authors of the report, How Far Yet to Go? The Status of Women in Georgia, 1970 and Today. Ifani Upabi is a PhD candidate at Georgia State University. His primary research explores the consequences of race, gender, class, and social inequality on Black people across socioeconomic statuses in the post-affirmative action era. Deirdre Oakley is the editor-in-chief of City and Community, the country's flagship peer-reviewed journal of urban sociology, and a full professor of sociology at Georgia State University. Dr. Oakley's research focuses on how urban social disadvantages are often compounded by various local, state, and federal policies. Thank you both for this important work and welcome.